Okay, today we are going to be using ChatGPT to help us estimate cost behavior for a company called Golden Ghost. And we are trying to take cost information from each week of a year and determine the fixed proportion and the variable proportion. So let's get right into this and open up our ChatGPT window. And the first thing we should do is just get a sense for what this data is, what it is we're looking for. So let's look at the context of the case. So Golden Ghost is a small company that specializes in helping individuals with their writing projects. And we compiled weekly data on the number of essays, theses, and blog posts they put together for the last year, as well as the total costs. So let me show you the data that we're looking at. We've got 52 weeks of data, and we've got the number of essays, theses, blog posts, and the total cost for the whole organization. All right. So after you begin a new chat, the first thing you want to do is put in our data. And go ahead and upload that. So I can see here that ChatGPT is offering to do a few things with this data. We are going to give ChatGPT some background on this data. So we're going to tell it, hey, this is from a company, which we tell ChatGPT what the company does, and we are trying to perform a regression analysis to understand what types of projects are driving total costs. And this is going to take a little bit of time, but then it gives us the output from the regression analysis. And this model looks right. We've got a fixed cost, and then we have the variable cost for each of our three types of jobs. We also have this table, a simplified table with the coefficient for each of these variables. And then it gives us some extra information to try to explain what's happening here. So let's assume that we're not happy with just the coefficient here. We want a little bit more information. We want the p-value for each of these independent variables. Okay, so now it's giving us not just the coefficient. We should just double check. Does this match what it said before? We had 25, 74, and 43. Going back down. Yeah, now we've got more decibels, but 25, 74, and 43, we still have these coefficients as well as the p-value. Okay, now let's ask it to provide the adjusted r-squared, which is how much of the variation in y is explained by the variation in our x variables. And we want it to explain what that statistic means. And it probably already told us this above, but we want it in a certain order. So it's saying that the adjusted r-squared is 0.619, and it tells that this means that approximately 61.9% of the variation in total cost is explained by the number of our essays, theses, and blog posts. Now let's go back and ask about the fixed costs for running Golden Ghost. So what are the predicted fixed costs at Golden Ghost based on this regression analysis? The predicted fixed costs per the model are $571.19, which is correct. Now we want to use this regression analysis to predict future expenses. So we predict that next week we are going to have 30 essays, 10 theses, and 18 blog posts that this company is going to help others write. So what are the projected total costs for Golden Ghost under these circumstances? And so it will take these numbers and plug them into the regression analysis and then give us our predicted Y. And it says that the projection of total costs are going to be $2,834.72. Okay, so finally, why don't we get a pie chart or other visualization together, displaying the total costs as well as percentage of costs in each segment. Okay, so now we've got a nice pie chart, and it's actually well done. I like the colors here, but it shows us the total fixed costs based on next week's projections, the cost of the essays, theses, and the blog posts. So this is a good example of how we can use ChatGPT or something similar to not only understand our costs, or golden ghost costs, but also how to predict future costs. And if we can understand those costs, it could help us in planning how many employees we need on different days. It could also help us understand which projects are driving our costs. It may be that certain types of projects are more profitable. And so the better we understand our costs, the better business decisions we are going to be able to make.